more on the latest developments sa career ni Kobe Paras, makausap natin ang ABS-CBN North America Bureau Correspondent na si Steve Angeles.
Hi, Steve.
Steve.
Hi, Anton, Mig.
Hi, Steve. Good
Looks
evening.
like
Good evening and good morning to you
good morning.
from the States. So, Steve,
good
we're
morning,
all...
good evening here.
Yes.
It's been a long day, and at the end of the day, Kobe Paras is not going to be a UCLA Bruin after all. UCLA announced a statement this morning, and that exact statement read, it was a very brief and somewhat vague statement. Incoming freshman guard Kobe Paras admitted upon condition to UCLA has withdrawn from the university due to academic conditions of his admission not being met. So despite the statement, his coaches at Middlebrooks Academy says that he is academically eligible to play at a Division I program. The Los Angeles Times reports that Cathedral High School officials say that there was an issue with Paras's SAT score, and despite he was being an honor student, Paras verbally committed to UCLA in the fall of 2014 as a high school junior. He went on to have a phenomenal junior season, attracting fandom at many of his games as a high school player. Paras went on to participate in several high-profile camps, and this past school year, due to issues with his transfers and credits, Paras continued to attend and eventually graduate at Cathedral. He suited up for Middlebrooks Academy, a basketball prep program that is also run by Cathedral's coach, William Middlebrooks. Now, last February, Cathedral High School announced that Paras had scored 1750 on his SAT test. 1750 is a pretty high score out here in the U.S., but despite the 1750, the average incoming UCLA freshman score is around 2,064. So this withdrawal comes this weeks after Paras checked into campus, with the school tweeting his visits and even his locker room nameplate. Paras even had a chance to meet with his fellow class of 2016 recruits during his visit. So even though he is no longer UCLA bound, his coaches say that he will still play college at a Division I level. And some reports say that some schools have already contacted Kobe's coaches. And so just when he arrived here, there are expected to be a number of suitors lining up to bring in this 6'5" wing player. Paras himself has been silent throughout the ordeal, and Middlebrooks basketball has been requesting for privacy. The program says they will clarify all the issues and give the details within the coming days. Miguel?
Steve, were you able to talk to Kobe? And did he share his thoughts with you regarding this issue?
I have not been able to talk to Kobe personally. I've talked to the staff at Middlebrooks basketball they're the ones handling the situation.
Okay.
They're the ones making all the public comments right now. They've actually asked, apparently it was a really long couple of days with the whole issue. They've asked that reporters leave Kobe alone for the time being. He's kind of resting up and just lining everything up. But they say that he's doing fine right now. They're just making him, giving him some space to breathe.
So there, no, Steve. So we've read in some reports, so even though he scored a score of 1750 in his SATs, he was also an exceptional honor student. So, pero very decent naman ang kanyang grades sa Middlebrook Academy. But right now, as you said, no, he's really qualified to play for other Division I schools. Are there any specific schools na in the hunt for him?
We haven't heard any of the specific new suitors. Of course, when he first came to the U.S., there were so many schools lined up to get him. There was Fresno, Cal. A lot of schools already made the initial contact once he arrived. So we're not sure which schools are still interested, which schools still want to take a second look at him, because a lot has changed over the past 2 years. Of course, those schools have given out their scholarships already. Some of those schools have already set their lineups. But of course, being the talent that he is, I'm sure there are some teams that are ready and willing to make these last-minute changes.
Well, if his grades were okay, why do you think UCLA came out with this surprising statement despite him being eligible, and even Middlebrooks Academy saying he is eligible to play for a Division I school?
This is where a lot of the so-called conspiracy theories and speculation comes in. As we know, a lot of colleges, they only have so many scholarships to give. So some people are wondering, is his scholarship going to be given away to someone else? Was this kind of a move just to shuffle around the different scholarships? The coach is under hot water for, supposedly underperforming. They're expecting more wins out of him. This situation has happened in the past where some people, they qualified for everything. They checked in. They're ready to start, but at the last minute, there were withdrawals. So these are some of the questions we're waiting for the Middlebrooks basketball program to clarify.
So, Steve, as you mentioned, this is a very special case. Would you know if this is a prominent issue? Has been really happening before, maybe during the past 10 years, or has this ever been a big issue, like, prominent one?
It's very common within the NCAA because whether it's, sometimes they find academic violations in students years after they've already joined. So a lot of the academic issues, sometimes it doesn't come later, whether it was a test score not high enough or if there was a violation. Also, schools rescinding scholarships. So it does happen often in UCLA. This is it's not an isolated case of a player committing and all the paperwork being put in. It happens. It's almost like a professional NBA team where some people will sign, next thing you know, no more. They've taken away the contract.
Steve, I'm going to turn you into a sports analyst for a little bit. Let's say he does not go to UCLA. In your personal opinion, where do you think Kobe is going to end up? Do you have any idea?
Okay, there's several options. Depending, we still don't know the circumstances. If it's somewhat of a bitter split from UCLA, of course, you'd want to be on a Pac-12 so you get a chance at revenge twice a year. If Cal will take you or Arizona State, why not? He does have friends. He has several other teammates in the Pac-12, so I'm sure he'd like to join them. His center, the Brazilian kid, Lucas Seaworth's in Colorado. They were a great team. His point guard, Milan Ako, went to Washington. So those are places if he wants to remain with some of his teammates. He's built a rapport with a lot of the different top prospects from his age, just from doing all the camps. If he cannot get into Division I for whatever reason, if the academic thing, it's too much, if they can't find a scholarship, if some schools aren't as aggressive in pursuing him, there is a chance of going to a junior college for a year or two. He could always play overseas like Emmanuel Mudiay from the Denver Nuggets. So he's got several options. It's more like a waiting game. There's still some time between now and the academic year and when basketball players check in. And he's been in good shape also. He's been training ever since he graduated. It's like he never stopped playing basketball.
Well, Steve, thank you so much. We appreciate the time, and we'll wait for your updates on this Kobe Paras issue. Thank you so much, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
For more sports updates, keep watching The Score. And don't forget to subscribe.